Grand evening, grand evening. What's up, what it do? To all the melanated gods and the goddesses, to all the divine gods and the goddesses, I hope you all have had a great day, great vibes. I had a busy day, so I'm gonna be doing something different in this stream, and I'm gonna be going over some facts and stuff as I do this stream. And the title of this stream, as you can see today, is Why January is Not the Real New Year. Okay. So, first of all, January, to begin with, is not the real New Year, for one, because it is a time of darkness and cold. And, when you think of new beginnings, you think of warm feelings, life giving moments, things of that nature. And, December or January, neither of which, possess any of the attributes that would like geologically bring forth new life at all. So that's one thing we have to look at. Um, so you know, we are not going by our original calendar. You know, time has been changed, you know, back and forth over and over again. And, you know, unfortunately, we are worshiping or utilizing holidays that are not original. They're not that um, they're just not suited for us. They're not. Most of them are not based in truth. So let's see here. Okay, so we are now using the Gregorian calendar. And the Gregorian calendar is a calendar used in most parts of the world. It was introduced in October 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th as a modification of and replacement for the Julian calendar. So, and that brings me to one of my next points. Um, So Julius Caesar has a lot to do with why this calendar is being used to this day. And it all kind of, basically breaks down and goes back to, uh, you know, like Roman and Greek mythology, if you will. Okay. So when people are celebrating these days and celebrating like Christmas or um Christmas and New Year's, we're just going to use those two for examples right now. Like you're using and celebrating something that was brought forth for different reasons. All right. So currently, the Julian calendar is 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. So to convert from the Julian to calendar to Gregorian calendar, you add 13 days. So let's go look at the gonna go look at the Julian calendar. All right. So this is the one of the first calendars. This is one of the first. And the Julian calendar proposed by Roman consul Julius Caesar in 46 BC. This is before Christ was in reform of the Roman calendar. It took effect on January 1st, 45 BC by edict and was designed with the aid of Greek mathematicians and astronomers such as Sosigenes and Alexandria. All right. The first two digits are the last numbers of the year, and the three digits after the hyphen are the day of that year. So, for instance, a Julian date of 21001 represents the first day of the year or January 1st, 2021, while a Julian date of 165 represents the 165th day of the 2022 or June 14th of 2022. Now, says here the purpose of the Julian calendar was introduced to solve the problem of the calendar drift. In a standard year, there are 365 days, but every 4 years, there's a leap year of 366 days. And the average year is then 365.25 days long, or 25, I believe that's hours, 25, yeah, 365.25 days long, which is close to the current tropical year of 365.24219. So basically, they did this because there were supposedly 365 days in a year, but they had this extra 25 hours. Okay, the extra 25 uh, hours at the end, which let me double check. Let me double check because I don't want to be wrong. Let me double check. Let me double check. Okay. It takes is is a year exactly. Okay, the true length of a year on Earth is 365.2422 days, or about 365.25 days. We keep our calendar in sync with the seasons by having most years 365 days long, but making just under one fourth of all years 366-day leap years. 0.24. So basically, it's a little longer than 365 days. I'm trying to see what the decimal point is. Um, but just, for future reference, just know that there's actually more time in a year than they say it is. So they round it. And when you're rounding, you go to the nearest percentage. If it's above point 0.5, then it will be 366. But since it's 0.25, they keep it at 365. All right, does that make any sense? Y'all follow? So back to the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was introduced to solve a problem in calendar drift. Okay, so why do you all think they were issue? This is around the time that they were sitting and arguing about whether the sun revolved around us or if we were revolving around the sun. So there is a big backstory to this, and there's a reason for everything. All right. So um the Julian calendar is still used in parts of Eastern Orthodox Church and in parts of Oriental Orthodoxy, as well as by the Berbers. The Julian calendar has two types of years: a normal year of 365 days and a leap year of 366 days. So even in the Julian calendar, they felt the need to throw in a leap year, which is so silly to me. How can you just tell us that there's going to be an extra day this year? That makes no sense at all whatsoever. I don't like it. I don't like it. And they only did this in actuality to suit their narratives, if you get what I'm saying. So the Julian calendar, I'm just reading the impact statement. The Julian calendar is important to historians because it was used worldwide for over 16 centuries and in various parts of the world for another 3 centuries after that. And it's important to genealogists because it was used to record events in many countries as recently as the early 1900s. All right. So they didn't even want to let this calendar go. They won't let it really die. Like, so it's very, very, very interesting. Um, okay. I see Roman calendar right here. All right, let's get into the Roman calendar. There's a lot of calendars. Does this dawn on anybody that they literally changed the meaning of time? And this is at least 3 or 4 times now. This is at least 3 or 4 times now. You got the Julian calendar, the Roman calendar. You had the Mayan calendar. Now you got the Gregorian calendar. And this is just, I feel like, well, I know that this is only to cover up some, lies that they established back then, before, this stuff got forgotten about. And that's why I'm gonna be doing more streams from this day forward to bring stuff like this to light. So we're gonna see here, first century BC. So the Roman calendar was the calendar used by the Roman kingdom and Roman Republic. The term sometimes includes any system dated by inclusive counting in the Roman manners towards calends, nuns, and IDs of the month. Um, the term often includes the Julian calendar, established by the reforms of the dictator Julius Caesar and Emperor Augustus in the late 1st century BC. The original calendar consisted of 10 months, beginning in the spring with March and winter was left as an unassigned span of days. So, like, this is deep, y'all. Like, they knew that in the past that having it was kind of pointless to have, these winter months on the calendar in the first place, because they knew it was a time of, like, people, it was cold, it was dark, like I said, so things are less active. There is nothing really being created in a time like that, you know. So the it says here the original calendar had 10 months, and the year began with spring in March. Okay, winter was left unassigned as a span of days. And so these months had 30 or 31 days and ran for 38 nundial cycles, each forming a 8-day week, 9 days counted inclusively, hence the name. Nine nundial cycle. Nundio. All right, so I'm gonna pull up Nundio real quick. The Nunane, sometimes anglicized to Nundines, were the market days of the ancient Roman calendar, forming a kind of weekend, including for a certain period rest from the work for the ruling class. So yeah, like, for a certain period, rest for the work for the ruling class. The noon deal cycle, market week, or 8-day week, was the cycle of days preceding and including noon dene. These were marked on fasti, including nundial letters A to H. The earliest form of the Roman calendar is sometimes said to have included exactly 38 cycles, running for 304 days from March to December, before an unorganized expanse of about 50 winter days. Okay, so almost 60 days. The lengths of the Republican and Julian calendars, however, were not evenly divisible by 8. Under these systems, the nonane fell on a different letter of each year. These letters form the basis of the later Christian Dominical letters. And Dominical letters or Sunday letters are a method used to determine the day of the week for particular dates. When using this method, each year is assigned a letter depending on which day of the week the year starts. So, once again, some pretty interesting information here. And I'm gonna probably have to do me another stream on this, but I wanted to go ahead and get the first one out of the way, because I did have a busy day today, and I um was not as prepared as I would like to have been, but it's okay. It's okay. The it's as long as I'm showing up, I'm trying to be more consistent. So, you know, from this point on, whether I'm ready or not, I'm gonna show up and give y'all this energy. Like, give y'all these facts. I'm gonna make it my duty to, start stating these facts. So let's see here. The Nundine was apparently formed from an early form of Nunus, ninth. It means ninth, or den, as in day. So 9 day. a root related to D's, and ultimately the Proto-Indo-European root reconstructed due to shine. It is now glossed as an adjective modifying an understood festival or holiday, but not all Romans considered it to be one. A writer named Titius listed the Noonday as a customary occasion, and the Roman pontiffs themselves told the augur Messala that they did not consider the noons or the Noonday to be religious occasions. So, like February and the names most other recurring days of the Roman calendar, Noonday was always appeared as a plural in classical Latin, even in references to a single day. The English form of noondyne, following French noondines, similarly appeared only as a plural at first, although it is now used in the singular number for individual days. In Roman inscriptions, the word was abbreviated NVN. Yo, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I used to see that in the Bible a lot, and I never knew what that meant. I can't even count with you. So you mean to tell me they had they was sitting there and like putting this in the Bible as well. So this is, this goes to prove that you know all of this has some religious context to it. You know, that's it's just what it is. People would love for you to believe what they believe in, and this goes to show how far that these people will to go to the extreme to get you to believe and to conform to their ideals or their beliefs. All right. So history. The Etruscans and the Etruscan civilization was developed by people of Etruria. It looks like Greece. That looks like Italy or Greece right there. Uh, and yeah, it says in ancient Italy with a common language and culture who formed a federation of city states. After conquering adjacent lands, its territory covered and its greatest extent, roughly what is now Tuscany, uh, hold on, what is now Tuscany, Western Umbria, and Northern Lazio, as well as what are now Po Valley, Emilia-Romagna, and southeastern Lombardy, southern Veneto, and western Campania. So the earliest evidence of a culture that is indefinitely Etruscan dates from about 900 BC. This is the period of the Iron Age, Villanovian culture. And Villanovian culture is regarded as the earliest phase of Etruscan civilization, which was the earliest Iron Age culture of Italy. It directly followed the Bronze Age Proto-Villanovian culture, which branched off from the Urnfield culture in Central Europe. Okay, so this is some really, some Roman Greek mythology type stuff going on here. And, it says this culture started around 900 BC. So it took about 9,000 years for them to even establish what, they say is their concept of time. Do we really want to be trusting these people? So anyways, not to venture too far off, from my topic, I just wanted to give some insight and some backstory as to, where this time frame comes from, this concept, and how many times that the calendar has been changed. And here we can see that the Julian calendar was uh, 45 BC, and the Gregorian calendar was brought in just recently in 1582 AD. So, yeah, it says here in 1582, when Pope Gregory the 13th introduced his Gregorian calendar, Europe adhered to the Julian calendar, first implemented by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. Since the Roman emperor system miscalculated the length of the solar year by 11 minutes, the calendar has since fallen out of sync with the seasons. So this has everything to do with astrology and how the sun is moving in reference to Earth. Okay, so let's see here. Why did we stop using the Julian calendar? Changes of 1752. The Julian calendar was replaced with the Gregorian calendar, changing the formula for calculating leap years. The beginning of legal New Year was moved from March 25th to January 1st. Finally, 11 days were dropped from the month of September 1752. Wow. They literally sat there and chopped off 11 days off of a year back in 1752. So now it's like they're having to cover up for that. And that's part of the reason this leap year exists, is because they have to keep something in correlation for their, miscalculations, if that makes any sense. It's a little confusing to me, guys. I ain't gonna lie. Like, so I'm refreshing my memory on some of this stuff, and giving y'all the facts at the same time. Please bear with me. All right. So here we go. There's another calendar called the Persian calendar. And the Persian calendar has been called one of the world's most accurate calendar systems. Like the Islamic calendar, it dates back to Muhammad's Hagari in 622 CE, but it is otherwise quite different. Wow. Let me open this up. I'm gonna have so many tabs open by the end of this. But I just want to give y'all a glimpse of how many calendars that there really are. Oh my goodness. Mm. So there are actually, I need dates. Man, y'all, it's 6 calendars in use right now. It's 6 calendars in use right now, y'all. So right now, 6 different calendars around the world. Let's start with the Gregorian calendar, which I've already mentioned. And the Gregorian calendar dates back to 1592. And in 1699, it was adopted by the Protestant German states. In 1752, by England and its colonies, including the United States. And in 1753, by Sweden. In 1873, by Japan. And then in the early 1900s, it was adopted by China, the Soviet Union, and Greece. Today, it is the most popular calendar system in the world. Yeah, like this is really something else. That's like a lot of civilizations. using this calendar, and it's wrong. Clearly, this calendar is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's not right. And those of us who use the Gregorian calendar are about to head into a new decade, the 2020s. As we approach this milestone, it's interesting to note that although the Gregorian calendar is the most common timekeeping system in the world, it certainly isn't the only one. Today, we'll look at 6 other calendars in use today, according to which we are living anywhere from the 1300s to the 2000s, and even as recently as back as 2012. All right, so the second is the Balinese or Pulkan calendar. One of the two calendars used in Indonesian island of Bali is the Pulkan calendar. The Pulkan calendar year is 210 days long and consists of 60 35-day months, a number which reflects the ancient rice growing cycles of the island. Beyond this, it is highly complex and can be quite difficult for outsiders to understand. There are 10 different concurrent weeks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 days, meaning that the first day of the year is the first day of all 10 weeks. What? As such, the 11th day of the year wouldn't be the first day of another 10-day week, the second day of a 9-day week, the third day of an 8-day week, etc. But that's not all. Since 210 is not divisible by 4, 8, or 9, days tend to repeat in those weeks. And unlike the Gregorian calendar, in which Tuesday always follows Monday, these days of the Pulkan calendar do not always occur on the same day. Many holidays in Bali are set according to the Pulkan calendar, but some follow their lunar calendar instead. It's known as the Saka calendar, and with the 12 months consisting of 29 to 30 days each, is relatively similar to the Gregorian calendar. Whoo-wee! These folks out here just playing with time. This is why I've always said time does not exist. It's a concept. That's a man-made construct. Like, does anybody, if you feel that, leave a comment, drop a like for me if you feel what I'm saying. Like, you ever be going through your day and you want to do something by a certain time, but then all of a sudden it's the time to do it, and you just like, where did the time go? It was just such and such and such and such, and then now all of a sudden, it's time, it's so-called time to do whatever you was gonna do, and it seems like you was lost 2 hours. Okay, can anybody relate to that? Because I'm telling you, like, I've been feeling like something wasn't right for a long damn time, a long time. So this is only confirmation for me. So next, um, and then another thing, just to piggyback off of that, um, you know, as time is like, as I know, is an illusion, because for one, you can't, like, time changes. It changes depending on your location on this plane. Therefore, it could be daylight here and it could be nighttime there. Okay, that right there tells me that time is, you can't really track time. You can't really track time. There can't really be um a time as they state it to be, because where you are is going to change, your total concept of time. You have to readjust to or for whatever you're trying to do or whatever you need to do because they're in a different time zone. Okay. So with that being said, like, we have to keep in mind, time is it's a man-made construct that was, basically made to keep us in a box. Okay. It was all right. Let's see here. A time zone is an area which observes a uniform standard time for legal, commercial, and social purposes. Time zones tend to follow the boundaries between. Let me open that up and get y'all this information. Oh shit. I need to get charger. Hold on one y'all second. Hold on. Appreciate it. I'm glad that John gave me a warning. Or I would have been upset. Mm. Oh, I have to plug that. Mm. There we go. Appreciate that. All right. So, okay, a time zone is an area which observes a uniform standard time for legal, commercial, and social purposes. Time zones tend to follow the boundaries between countries and their subdivisions instead of strictly following longitude. Okay, because it is convenient for areas in frequent communication to keep the same time. So basically, time zones were created in order for businesses, corporations, um, establishments, and things of that nature to operate under the same time. All right. So basically, it was made for society. It literally says here that time zones were made for society, and we didn't need all of this stuff back in the day because we could, use the sun. We didn't need a clock. We could use sundials. We could just tell. We could just feel when it was time to do this and that. It didn't matter. So all time zones are defined as offsets from Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, ranging from UTC 12 to UTC 1400. The offsets are usually whole numbers or hours, but a few zones are offset by an additional 30 or 45 minutes, such as India, South Australia, Nepal. Some areas of higher latitude use daylight saving time for about half of the year, typically by adding 1 hour to local time during spring and summer. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so daylight saving times, also referred as daylight savings time or DST, or simply daylight saving time and summertime, is the practice of advancing clocks during warmer months so that the darkness falls at a later clock time. The typical implementation of DST is to set clocks forward by 1 hour in the spring and to set clocks back by 1 hour in the fall to return to standard time. As a result, there is one 23-hour day in early spring and one 25-hour day in the middle of autumn. Y'all, this is crazy. They literally sitting here playing with time. It's so ridiculous. How are you just gonna say that there's an extra um day all of a sudden out of the year just because you feel like it? No, let time be time, like whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't feel like there's no need for all of that. I never liked daylight savings time anyway, because it just gets your body all out of whack. They're setting you up for depression. They're setting you up for you all ever heard of seasonal depression? Like this stuff is real. Like they really out here playing with time, y'all. They're really out here playing with time. And this, a bunch of this stuff actually correlates or proves another theory that I will be talking about in another video. I'm going to save all that for another video. But there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. So, just to go ahead and get back on topic, let's see here. All right, back to the point at hand. The real the real New Year's starts at the end of March or the beginning of April. All right. And it does so because that is the time in which um, new life has the capability to spring forward. Okay. Like this is inaccurate information that we're being presented with, and it's all for a bigger plan, their plan to keep things in so-called order, and that's not right. you know um there's no reason that we should be sitting here utilizing a time method that is clearly unreliable and inaccurate. Unreliable and inaccurate, to say the least. And once again, I was a little unprepared to do this, but I'm coming to you anyway. I'm gonna bring it how it is, and just to prove that Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. Aries is the first zodiac sign. Aries is the beginning of the astrological stories, period. Like it brings in everything with fire, the element of fire. And Aries is a cardinal sign, and it is a sign of leadership, of passion, of life, of feelings, of joy, all of the above. Like, so there's no way that the year should begin in the season of Sagittarius or Capricorn, I believe. Let me double check here. But I believe it is Capricorn. Okay. So Aries season begins March 21st. So that is when the real New Year's begins. In March. It's at the end of March, March 21st to April 19th. There you have it. Like, so all this other stuff that they're talking about and just coming up with out of thin air to suit their narratives, it's only proof of them utilizing these theories and methods to cover up information that we should really be upholding and enlightening ourselves with. All right. Um, let's see here. All right. So yeah. Uh Sagittarius is November 22nd to December 21st. Capricorn is December 22nd to January 19th. So they want to start the new year in the season of Capricorn. That's that's interesting to say the least. And then you have after Capricorn comes Aquarius, and then after Aquarius comes Pisces. Even as they present this, the astrological, dates and whatnot, this is even like you would think this is even, kind of offset. There's something off about it because, they're starting off with it's just okay. No, hold on. They actually have it right on this website here. They actually have it right on this website here. And the first sign is Aries. So, Aries, anybody that's an Aries is known to have independent and strong willed energy. You are a force to be reckoned with. I am an Aries, so I know all about that, man. I'm an Aries, and I just always have had like a really fiery, passionate energy, a really like healing energy, a really like you love nothing more than than an exciting goal to tackle. And you do your best work when you're flying solo. Your passion and energy keep the rest of us on our toes. That indeed, like I've noticed that I definitely motivate others to be a better them. And I may not get the credit for that all the time, but it's fine. I'm paying attention and I notice the signs. I see the changes in people. Like people are they're starting to wake up. So what I'm doing is working and I will continue to do that. So after Aries is the season of Taurus. And Taurus is from April the 20th to May the 20th. And Taurus people are a wonderful combination of laid back and hard working. They're honest and loyal occasionally to a fault. Their determination and attention to detail will take you far. Okay, so back to the point at hand. I'm glad I found this article. See, I'm gonna have to start doing stuff like this more often. I'm loving it because as you all are learning, I'm learning more too, and that's awesome. As long as we're taking a step in the right direction. So once again, Aries starts the zodiac. All right, Aries does. Aries starts the zodiac. Spring bring forth new life. All right, we must remember that and not be so quick to participate in holidays that that really weren't meant for us. So I was on the PoolCon calendar. Y'all gotta excuse me. I know I'm scratching my head a lot. I had my scalp oiled a little bit and like it's it's really I don't know if my hair growing or what, but it's really itching me bad. Like so I'm gonna try not to scratch. But okay, so I was talking about the PoolCon calendar in which um the 11th day of the year would be the first day of another 10-day week. The 11th day of the year will be the first day of another 10-day week. The second day of a 9-day week. The third day of an 8-day week. That's just so, that is so confusing. All right, many holidays of Bali are set to the Pulkan calendar, but some follow the lunar calendar instead. Next, we have the Chinese calendar. Although modern day China relies on the Gregorian calendar, the traditional Chinese calendar still governs the dates of important holidays such as Chinese Lantern Festival, and it also used for as a tool for selecting auspicious dates for weddings, funerals, moving, and starting businesses. The Chinese calendar is essentially a lunar calendar with 12 months of 29 or 30 days that each begin on the first day of a new moon. Leap months rather than days are added as needed. Each month can be referred to by an animal name or a number, which also correspond to a particular hours of the day, as well as years in the zodiac cycle. In order of occurrence, the animals are rat, ox, tiger, hare, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, fowl, dog, and pig. Variants of the Chinese calendar are also used in Korea, Vietnam, and the Ryukyu Islands. All right, so and I know a lot of you that are into astrology may be familiar with the Chinese calendar. I know that it is used by some of our people because, they say that you have a Western zodiac and you have an Eastern zodiac. So, according to what you're going by, you could be a different animal or have a different sign or whatnot. Everything changes basically depending on where you are or where your perspectives lie. There's also the Ethiopian calendar. If you live in Ethiopia, you're behind time, literally. Based on alternate calculations of the date of announcement of Jesus Christ's birth, the Ethiopian calendar is 7 years behind, with its new year corresponding to September 11th of Gregorian calendar or September 12th if it's a leap year. That puts right now at early 2012 in Ethiopian time. So in Ethiopian time, if you're in Ethiopia, we're not, we wouldn't have been in 2022. We would have been in 2012 because, wow. No, no, no. 7 years behind. So let me get my phone. I might be reading wrong. So 7 years behind. So if it's um 2023, that could be like 2005. I'm gonna double check. I mean 2000 and let me double check. 20, 23. Yeah, 2015. My apologies. So these folks are literally like living in the past because their calendar tells them so. So once again, I don't believe in, time as they say it is. I feel like, there's no need for that, and that's you're trying to control time, and that's God's job to keep track of time. There's no need for us to try to, manipulate or put things in the way we would like to see it. So if it doesn't already seem like keeping appointments might be difficult for tourists in Ethiopia, things are about to get even more confusing. In addition to date conversion, hour conversion is necessary as well. This is true because most Ethiopians don't keep time using the annate meridian AM and post meridian PM timing system. Since Ethiopia is close to the equator, daylight hours remain quite consistent throughout the year. So local time is based on a 12-hour clock with one cycle from dawn to dusk and the other cycle from dusk to dawn. Thus, 7 a.m. in East Africa time corresponds to 1 o'clock in daylight hours in local time. Wow. Thus, 7 a.m. in East Africa time corresponds to 1 o'clock daylight hours and local time at 7 p.m. East Africa time. Ethiopians start over again and it becomes 1 o'clock in nighttime hours. What in the world? So doesn't that tell you guys something? Like, okay, if time was real, wouldn't you think that you know, time would be the same wherever you are? Like it shouldn't change whether you're like north and south, but this just lets you know that time is being used to get us to conform to something that they want us to believe. They want us to believe that, once again, I said I wasn't gonna get into that. But this is deep, y'all. This is deep. They're basically telling off on themselves with that one sentence alone, talking about the equator. Some of you all know what I'm talking about. But why is it that if you're near the equator, the days, as they say, are more normal? So I'm gonna get back with y'all on that on another video. We have 3 more calendars left to go over. Next will be the Hebrew or Jewish calendar. Like the Chinese calendar, the Jewish calendar is lunar, with each month commencing with the new moon. The issue with strictly lunar calendars is that there are approximately 12.4 lunar months to each solar year. So a 12-month lunar calendar is slightly too short, while a 13-month lunar calendar is slightly too long. Hmm. Adhering to either one will cause the year to drift relative to the seasons. Thus, if utilizing a 12-month lunar calendar, the Jewish month of Nisan, which is supposed to occur in the spring, would eventually fall back to the winter, the fall, and then the summer. This matters because most holidays and festivals have traditionally been tied to the seasons, as well as the dates of their occurrence. The problem was solved in the 4th century when Hillel created a fixed Jewish calendar in which the month of Adar is repeated every 3rd, 6th, 8th, 11th, 14th, 17th, and 19th year in a 19-year cycle. Now, Passover always occurs during the month of Nisan, while the Jewish New Year occurs during the month of Tishri. It's interesting to note that while many Jews outside of Israel have adopted the Gregorian calendar, they do not generally use the abbreviations AD, BC, and AD. AD literally means the year of our Lord. And because Jews do not believe that Jesus is Lord, they instead use the abbreviation CE, or Common or Christian Era, and BCE, before the Common Era. Wow. They said, nope, we ain't doing it. They said, no, we ain't doing that. That's funny. That's so funny. Wow. So I that's we have two more. The Islamic Muslim or Hijri calendar. The Islamic calendar is also lunar, but unlike the Hebrew or Chinese calendars, it does not use leap months or days to account for the difference in length of the solar year. Therefore, the named months do not remain in the same seasons. Instead, they slowly retrogress through the entire solar year, taking a 32 and a half years to reoccur at the same seasonal time. The start date of the calendar is based off the Hijri, the Islamic prophet Muhammad's journey from Mecca to Medina. In Muslim countries, the Islamic calendar is primarily used for religious purposes, while the Gregorian calendar is used for civil purposes. They're telling you right here that these calendars were made for religious purposes. That's what I was saying in the beginning. There's no need to do this unless you're trying to. It's like they're um casting spells, or just using these dates and times, using these to do other things, if you follow what I'm saying. So wow. The Persian or solar Hijri calendar. So there are three calendars alone that are really um religious based. This says a lot about why these calendars exist. For real. All right, so no, the last calendar. The last calendar is the Persian or solar Hijri calendar. The Persian calendar has been called one of the world's most accurate calendar systems, like the Islamic calendar, but it dates back to Muhammad Hagari in 622 CE, but it's otherwise quite different. All right, it's a solar calendar rather than a lunar one, with the year beginning on midnight of the vernal equinox in Iran. There are 12 months, of which the first six have 31 days. The second five have 30 days. And the last month, Esfand, alternates between having 29 days or 30 days in a leap year, unlike the Gregorian calendar, which uses a set of mathematical rules to determine when leap year falls. Leap years on the Persian calendar are determined by the number of days between the two vernal equinoxes. The calendar is currently used officially in Iran and Afghanistan. So, wow, this is pretty cool. See, I just learned something myself because I had no idea that, you know, all of these calendars right here at the end existed. I was aware of the Chinese one. Um, I was aware of the Gregorian and the Roman and the Mayan calendar, but this right here, like they still, have different calendars to this day. So I said all that to say this. Time is an illusion, and you can't just say that this is what time is, because in actuality, past, present, and future exist in one moment. Past, present, and future exist in one moment, all at the same time. Because if you know about, us having a multiverse, it's not a universe. If you're aware of that, then you know that, it all exists as one. All right. Everything is one. It's just, we they did all of that to break things down, to be able to fathom it, to be able to try to understand it, to be able to try to make a construct to control time or say what time is for their particular purposes. And that's the truth. That's the truth. So it's possible to live in the past and live in the future at the same time. It's possible to do that because the past is really like always with us. The past is always with us, and our future, we're depicting our futures, you know, all the time. All of the time, we're depicting our futures. We can change, what the future may bring by just a thought or a pattern in our brain, and just say, this is what it's gonna be. Like, you can manifest whatever you like. So all these things should be kept in mind. Um, all these things should be kept in mind. This is pretty cool information. Um, I hope you all enjoyed it so far. And like I said, I'm gonna be doing another stream on this stuff and getting some more information to you guys. Um, so let's see here. I would like to see. I'd like to see something real quick. So we have six principal calendars they have that they're using. Gregorian, Jewish, Islamic, Indian, Chinese, and a Julian calendar. So today we went over six calendars at least that are used still to this day. And so it just goes to show, time should be universal. What about universal time? So I'm not done with this topic. I'm going to be getting more into it. But long story short, um, January is not the beginning of the new year. January is not the beginning of the new year. All right. Why are there 12 months in a year? Julius Caesar's astronomers explained the need for 12 months in a year and the addition of a leap year to synchronize with the seasons. At the time, there were only 10 months in the calendar, while there are just over 12 lunar cycles in a year. So this stuff is all astrological. They're using the 12-month cycle to basically keep up with the cycles of the sun and the moon. And that's really like impossible to for them to have a calendar that will do all of that for everyone, because once again, time changes wherever you are. So there's another Holocene calendar. It says the current year is 12 022. 100, I'm gonna just say it in thousands. The current year is 1 12,022 HE in the Holocene calendar. So here's yet another calendar I just came across on accident. I'm gonna look this one up. Holocene. It is a current geological epoch. Holocene is the current geological epoch. It began approximately 11,650 CAL years before present, after the glacial period, which concluded with a Holocene glacial retreat. The Holocene and preceding Pleistocene together form the Quaternary period. Wow. So this is saying that um we should, basically time. They reset time because in actuality, of course there are way more than 2022 years in time. We've been well past that. So this is saying that basically we lost. They just chopped some years off, chopped like 10,000 years off, and just started all over. Wow, wow, yeah, because clearly time goes back over 2 billion years. So they just made a whole new concept and restarted time and started, calling it what they wanted to call it. And I guess nobody couldn't do nothing about it, huh? Wow. That's pretty interesting. I got a screenshot there. Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure I got my point across. Like you ought to keep that in mind that time is an illusion, but your time is now. Whatever you want to do, you don't have to wait till New Year's to do it. Do it now. Be whatever you want to be right now. Don't let somebody else tell you that this is the time and that is the time and this and that. Like you can do whatever you want to do as you speak it, as you think it, at whenever you want to do it. You have that power. And I would like to help people step into their power every single day and become more in tune with themselves. And so I will be providing more enlightening content that, I'm really here to make you think. And so that's what this is about. And yeah, I hope you all have a great one. I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up. And once again, I'll be doing another video on this real soon when I, be more prepared because I would like to, get some more in-depth information and be a little bit more prepared. I've been really busy getting in tune with myself, over the past few days, making sure I'm good. So, more information is coming. More information is coming. Good vibes are coming. And thank you all for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Please like, sub, and follow. Leave a comment if you like. Also, leave some topic ideas if you want to. That's great. If y'all drop some good topics, I'll be happy to look into it and provide you guys with some great content on, some things that you may be interested in. Ooh, that tea's still hot, man. But yeah, this is Melanated Consciousness, Non God Akachi, Celtic Amun Ra. And I hope you all have a great night, a great day, a great month. And yeah, sending you all divine peace, unconditional love, cosmic balance, prosperity, abundance, and supreme infinite healing energy. I shall, some more to be.